You might not have heard of the SolarWinds breach. Now, of course you have. It's the cybersecurity event probably of the decade. We're passionate about this kind of attack in CounterCraft. It's why we built the company. My name's Dan Brett. I'm going to be sitting down with David Barroso, our CEO and founder, and we're going to get his take on what actually went down in that SolarWinds breach.
Hi, so I'm with David.
Hey, Dan. How are you?
Great, thanks. So, we're here to talk about this SolarWinds hack, nation-state hacking, and why we think that's important. And we've got something to say about it at CounterCraft. Okay, so David, let's take a look back at this. I mean, it seems to me like it was internal lateral movement. How come it took so long for it to be picked up and caught?
Well, it's true that the attackers were really advanced. They were using off-the-shelf tools so that no alerts were generated. Also, they were trying to be as stealth as possible. That's normal in this type of incidents. So I guess that was normal, as they use everything they can use, like imagine like a normal administrator tools, or using the same user that they have compromised. So it's very difficult to find them.
But at the end, they were given away by, what was it? It was like trying to authenticate a new device on the network. And it was picked up, I guess, by someone at the SOC by a process, really, right? That was my take on it. It was kind of finally, a combination of like whatever, duo technology, and the process kicked in, and there was an anomaly and it was discovered, right? So, I mean, at the end, it seems to me that these people make mistakes, right?
Yeah, they make mistakes. And I think that that's our goal, try to make them make mistakes. So the idea is that we need to force them, so that they are human beings. They are going to make mistakes. So the idea is that we need to deploy as many chances as we can, so that they will be making more mistakes in the future. Because in this case, that mistake was the trigger for detecting that something weird was happening. And so we need to add more and more chances so that there will be more mistakes from them.
Yeah, because I mean, these people aren't invincible, but this is obviously a great campaign. It went on for what do we know? At least 9 months, it seems to have been happening, in the background. So whether everything is connected, I don't know. But interestingly, there was like internal stuff, and I've heard like talk recently about Office 365 and authentication. Do you know anything about what was happening on external networks?
Yeah, of course, as they compromise not only SolarWinds, but many other software companies and also cloud companies. So that's a very good idea if you want to compromise as many companies as you want. So in this case, they were trying to compromise a specific Microsoft Office 365 tenants from security vendors, that they were using that specific tenant for email or for cloud or for anything that they have in the cloud, in Microsoft Cloud, but could happen in any other cloud provider. So I think that the question is, how many different security vendors or cloud providers or software providers are affected by this incident? Because I guess that there are many. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think it's interesting. And I mean, I'm always looking out as well for what our insight is and what we can do. So, from CounterCraft, I just think it's really exciting because we don't just work on internal networks, but we've got, campaigns we deploy across cloud and Office 365 as well. So I think, how do you prepare and defend against these things? I'm, very bullish about, using an active defense posture and trying to build some kind of controls in these external, web-based services that you're using, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And also, I would say
Yeah.
that the main takeaway should be we need to deploy campaigns or deploy anything that can force them to make mistakes. And everything that we are going to use needs to be not only done internally, but also in the cloud, in any external service we use, even in all the supply chain providers that we are using. I think that's the key in order to detect this type of attacks as soon as possible.
Yeah, and when you mention mistakes, I kind of want to bring that back as well. Like recently, we did a blog piece around. We did some work at NATO level where we had very, very skilled red teams. Nation state level red teams, and I believe you got them to make some mistakes. Can you say anything a bit more about that? About what happened? To show that our techniques and our ideas can actually help. Increase these mistakes in the adversary.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the idea is that we try to have two different paths: the easy path, the difficult path, or the hard path. So attackers will try or tend to take the easy path, and the easy path will guide them to our deception scenario. So that's the main idea behind that. So in that case, we have a total success trying to guide the attackers to our deception scenarios because they were taking decisions and taking the easy path in each step of their journey into that company.
So you're saying the attackers were lazy?
Not lazy, but I guess that they also have bosses, they have goals to meet, so they need to be as quick as possible. So sometimes they will make mistakes because they want to have the tasks ready as soon as possible.
Right, right. Now I get it. They all have time constraints and stuff. So, but anyway, it's a great read, and that shows how we were able to basically detect and protect some networks from very high level adversaries, which would be similar to this thing. Okay. So I guess to wrap up, then, I mean, what's the one main takeaway if you're defending and you're worried about this because it's affected, I think, possibly up to 18,000 different organizations. What's the main takeaway? What can you do about this in 2021? How can you increase insurance about this? Tell me what you think, David.
So I guess that is a double takeaway. First of all, we need to make them make mistakes. So that's number one. And the second one is we need to have some capabilities that will enable us to find anomalies or those suspicious events that are happening in our network or in the cloud. So we need to try to be able to find them as soon as possible. So having that capability, I think, is something we should be working right now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. I'd just like to say, come and see us at CounterCraft because with our tool, you can deploy deception campaigns, across local networks or out there on cloud infrastructure. And that's definitely going to fill the first part. That's going to help bad people, make themselves known by committing mistakes and, make mistakes again, which is what we want. Okay. So that's really good. So anyway, so thanks for that. This story's going to be unfolding, I feel. We've not heard the last of SolarWinds. It might even need a better title because it seems to affect more than just SolarWinds, right, David?
Yeah, I think this morning I read on Twitter that someone said that the company was solar-winded. So, but I think that's not the
SolarWinded,
right
yeah.
term, no, because there are so many companies involved in this attack that it's not only SolarWinds. It's true.
Okay. Or maybe a solar hurricane, okay, that swept everyone off the board.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, thanks for coming into this Founders Chat. I hope it's been a little bit informative. Hit subscribe to make sure you keep up with any future chats and videos we have, and looking forward to see you again.
Okay, bye.
Don't be a victim of the next supply chain attack. To protect yourself, get in contact with us at countercraftsec.com and click subscribe so you don't miss the next Founders Chat video. Thanks very much.